Hello again, everyone. You would not believe the pickles I've been getting into today. It was all going so well until it wasn't. Oh, dear me. I will start and tell you the story. My very dear friend, one of my closest friends, for whom I make a lot of cards, asked me if I could make a card for her husband's birthday, his 70th. And what she asked me to do was something kind of quite specific. She asked me if I could include some of his music on the card. And by that, I don't mean some of his music that he likes. I mean some of the music that he's written. Her husband is a composer. He writes a lot of sacred stuff, in fact. He, by tradition, was a Salvationist. Used to be a bandmaster at one time. Has taught music in schools and colleges for his career, and is still busy composing. One of his most famous pieces is Prelude to Lavenham, it's called. It's kind of based, wrote a hymn tune, and he wrote a prelude for brass band based on that hymn tune that he wrote. He dedicated it to a chap who had been the bandmaster of the Salvation Army Corps in Lavenham, and so the name he chose for the tune was, in fact, Lavenham. This is a picture drawn of Lavenham. This is part of his music. Now, his wife sent me this picture, including her feet. She just took a photograph of the score of the first page. This is the band score. It's cornets, trumpets, horns, trombones, etc., etc. And it's just the beginning of the tune. So I thought, what can I do? So I dropped this picture into my photo editing suite. I think it's called Photoscape X or something. And I changed it to sepia. So I'd get a nice sort of soft brown effect, because this drawing was kind of similar. Anyway, the first thing I did, and I managed to actually do it, was to print this out on some tissue paper. It was a bit of luck, really. I got a piece of this copy paper, glued around the edge with some glue stick like this, put the piece of tissue paper over the top, and through my rear feed machine it went, and it printed. I was ecstatic. However, after I messed that up on this bit here, I'm not going to show you anymore. I just tried several times more. Every time I tried, it got jammed in the printer, and I thought, I don't want to wreck the printer. So what I did in the end, I thought, we'll change gear, and I'll do it onto a piece of copy paper. Now, my cardstock, this silkweave linen, is not a bright white. I don't actually like bright white. And if you look at the difference here, you can see the difference between the cardstock and this paper. I did think that I would just cut it out and put it on, or rip it out rather, and stick it on. And then I thought the colour difference is too much. So I got some antique linen Distress Oxide ink, dabbed it onto one of my work sheets like this, squirted a whole lot of water all over it, whooshed it round with the paintbrush, and then dabbed my paper into it to sort of make it look more like old paper. The old paper colour is actually quite green. If you look here, it's quite green. So I used antique linen instead. Okay, that's as far as we got. Once I'd done that, I dried it, and then I actually ironed the paper. I've got a really old little travel iron here, and so I just ironed it to smooth it out with that. So I'm having to tell you what I did, because I kind of can't go through all this again. I've tried twice to do a video, and each time it's ended in disaster. So I'm just hoping that this time we'll kind of be okay. So we've got his music on here. Do look up on YouTube. Look for Prelude on Lavenham. Listen to it. This chap has got the most wonderful gift for writing melody, and the harmonies are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Do please have a look. His name's Jeff Nobes. Look at his and listen to his music. It's wonderful. Anyway, so I've got that on. I've got the picture of Lavenham. I've got a treble clef. This is a die. I'm not sure of the make of this one. I think it's one of those Dutch ones. Some of those are these funny colours, aren't they? Anyway, there's 2 layers here. And to go in keeping with the sepia, I coloured the treble clef with a brown marker and then added a little gilding wax. But I think I'm actually going to add a bit more. You'll see why in a minute. So I've got my sort of blotchy distressing on the paper. Now I've got to decide whether I'm going to do it the size of my normal piece of card and put it straight on, or do a smaller one, mount it onto a slightly bigger piece of card. Not quite sure. But I wrote his name with using my silhouette portrait. I did it twice and stacked them together, but you know me, I don't like the edge of an electronic cut. So what I did, I embossed it with gold embossing powder, and I did it 3 times. I've been going to do the 7 and the 0 too. I've done that twice, and you can see it's still kind of rough around the edges. So a little bit more should hopefully get it looking more like that one. That one had three levels. So let me just do that now, and I'll honestly, you would not believe the pickles I've got into today. Really. I just hope I can get a card out at the end of it. So we just pop that onto a piece of scrap and put some embossing powder on. 1 and 2. Pop over some embossing powder. I'd like to give it a bit of a jiggle because it doesn't always settle enough without. Right, I've got a little bit of silicone here, a little bit of silicone sheet. Just going to pop this onto there to heat it. Okay, let's just see. Put this back in the pot. And I'll heat this up. Just thinking I'm going to do one more with these. The edge is still a little bit crinkly, so I will do one more. But before I put it back onto the Versamark, I must make sure that it's absolutely cool. If it's not, the more layers you do, the longer it takes to set. So if you put it on for an extra dab before it's actually cooled, you'll smudge what's already there. So I'll just clean off my silicone mat with the residue of the embossing powder, because it just wipes right off. Even if, as you saw there, a couple of bits had melted, it will wipe right off. Okay, let's just see if this is cool. I think it has. Give it a bit of time, or blow on it or do something, but don't, whatever you do, stamp until it's cooled. I'll put those on one side just for a moment until they have cooled down, because it will take a while to set. Another thing I did, this is a little golf, he does play golf as well, and I've cut out a few golf balls. I thought I might just kind of use them as embellishments. They're around here, knocking around here somewhere. I'll find them presently. Okay, let me just clear a bit of space, because I want to try and start and see if I can drag all of these bits of elements together. Now, the reason I said was going to put some more gilding wax on here is I think there's a bit too much of a stark difference between the solid gold of those and the little bit on here. So I'm going to put a bit more of this onto here, just while we're kind of at it, and then I can clear this away as well. So let's have a bit more gold. This is an eye shadow applicator. I bought a whole bunch really cheaply from Amazon. They're really great for doing this. I think that's a bit better. Let's just give it a bit more, with just a hint of the brown showing through. That's better, I think. Okay, feel more pleased with that. Now I can get this away and that away. Okay, now I've got his name, got his age, got his music, I'll just wipe this. I'd cut all sorts of things out, didn't know what to do really. So the next thing, which of these do I use? I was going to cut these up, you know, separately, tear them and stick them on. But I've kind of thought that because I like the blotchiness of that, I thought I would actually cut them out, you know, from this. If I don't like it cut from this, I could always tear it afterwards, couldn't I? But I think we're going to go with it like this. So I'm just going to go over to my switch, and I'm going to cut this with that because I don't want to mess about trying to get it into my small machine. That was my second abortive attempt. So this is Mark 3. So there it is. Now, what I thought I'd also like to do with this is to add, I've got a stamp, let me show you. This one here, of a grand piano. Well, Jeff's got a grand piano. So I thought I'd like to get that on. So what I've done, I stamped a few onto bits of tissue, different colours, because I can pop this on and you'll still be able to see the writing through. So there's a deep brown one there. This is called River Rock. That could go on there. I'd have to obviously rip the thing down a bit. I don't know what this one is. Oh, I think this one is Morning Mist. I think that is, I don't know that one. That is, what do you call it? Versafine, Claire. And this one is Stampin' Up Sahara Sand. Old colour, but I rather like that actually. Then this can go over the top like that. Jeff can go kind of like that. The 70 can go up here somewhere. Move that in a bit. Let me try putting on this this grand piano. I'll get those out of the way. I don't think I want those. To tear it, I think I will do the water thing, you know, where you just put a little a ring or a line of water, and the paper should tear in that particular place. Let's see. Right. Tears beautifully. This is a bit of paper from my retail therapy on my birthday. I bought some shoes. This was in the box. Wrapping up the shoes. Bit of a sucker for shoes. I do like shoes. Right, let's just see. Is that going to fit on there? think I'll tear just a bit more off this side here. Let's get that bit off. Let it soak in. There we go. Oh, you put it in the water. Oh dear. Right, that can go on there. Now I've got some Slap It On here. Here's something to put it on with. Do I do some Slap It On the back of this or just on the top? I'll try some on the back. It's always, you know, a difficult decision with tissue paper because some is strong enough to take a bit of glue on the back and some is so fragile that it just completely, you know, falls apart when you try and do it. Do you know, I think that's the front. Yes, it is. I put it on the front. Let's try and put it on, so put a little bit on the back. I'll put some on here to leave it like that. Gosh, this has been the story of today, I have to tell you. Absolute story of today. If it could go wrong, it has. And I was starting off feeling so buoyant, thinking I could print onto tissue paper. Well, I did twice, and then I nearly wrecked my printer, so I wouldn't recommend it. I'd give a warning if you want to try it. You could ruin your printer. Here we go. This is a matte medium. Slap It On is it doesn't come out shiny when it's dry. It's a matte finish, which I kind of rather like. So you can still see the title of the piece through it. I wonder if I should have printed this on card, really. I was thinking I would do it and tear it, you see. Perhaps I should have printed it on card. Never mind, we'll do. Then I wouldn't have the problem with the not matching, would I? Never mind. We'll see. Let me see if I can get this back into the pot. I don't like wasting it. It's, you know, easily got back in. The brush will have to be washed. I'm wipe it as I go along, but if it isn't properly washed, the bristles will stick together. So you do need to give it, you know, a good wash when you've finished, or just drop it into some water, really, probably just as well, until you can actually get to the sink. Right, now then, shall we put this onto white, or shall we put it onto gold? I think I'll put this onto the same size sheet. Perhaps I should have done that beforehand. If I use Slap It On the back of this and glue that onto another one of the squares. I think I'll go over the whole lot with this. Let's stick this on. Now we'll stick on the 70, I think, and I thought that could go kind of about there. Let's just see. Jeff about that. Let me stick the Jeff on. I'm not sure about the 70. Let me just stick the Jeff. Where to put the 70? I did wonder about putting some odd little notes. I've got some quavers, eighth notes and stuff. I could perhaps put some on. I think I might put that there. Here's the gold backdrop. Where do I want it? So look at the card. Is that a bit large? Do I want a slightly smaller one? Yeah, I think there. I'm going to stick these on. I've been dithering long enough. Just got a few bits of glue I just need to dab. Don't want them drying shiny. There we go. Right. I'm not sure about the golf balls. Not sure about the notes. Yeah, I quite like the notes. Let's just see what we want. I wonder if a gold golf ball would not go amiss, shall we say. Let me just try one gold golf ball. Yeah, I'll just have a gold golf ball somewhere. Right, let's just stick these other things. Not having that one, all those. Let's stick some of these notes on. That's all right down there. We'll have a quaver there. Before I stick that on, I'm going to get this attached to the gold. And for that, I think I'm going to use this. I may have to put it on under a book or something. Get it absolutely flat. Let's have the golf ball. I don't know what's happened to my semi-quavers. Honestly, don't get better for keeping. One gold golf ball. I think it's just going to be a suggestion. Now, I've got some semi-quavers somewhere. Perhaps I'll... Those two, I think. Okay. Right. There we are. Well, my goodness, what a what a trial. Oh, I've loved it, really. I do like a challenge, but sometimes things are a bit hectic. So, there we are. A kind of a mixed media-y card. Actually fulfilling the request to use some of Jeff's music. So, Prelude on Lebanon, do have a listen. It is absolutely stunning. Thanks for joining me. Thank you so much, those people who bought me coffee, wishing me a happy birthday as well. So thank you for that. I really am so grateful. Do come back and see me next time.